All right, it's media day. We're joined by Lake Highlands head coach Cory Campbell, and we're going to talk some 7-6A. Before we talk 7-6A, let's just talk about how you are with your feet in the water there over at Lake Highlands. You haven't been there too long. This is obviously your first year, but you do feel like you got to see a little bit during spring, right?
Yeah, spring was great for us. Unfortunately, we did lose quite a few players to graduation, and with spring ball, just the opportunity to evaluate. And with those 18 practices, our staff did a great job, and we feel like we have a better foothold of what our football team looks like going forward next fall.
Were you able to see in the short time that you were there in the spring who maybe your leaders are, who you might be able to trust to get your message across to the rest of the kids?
Sure. Some of our returning starters, I'll start on the defensive side of the ball. Christian Tate, defensive end, a defensive lineman, 2-year starters coming back for us. Really leaning on him. He's had a great summer. Shep Jenkins, Mike Backer in the middle, and then Myron McGee, defensive back as well. And then offensively, we return our quarterback, Trip Holly, and our running back, Deontay Dean. We're really going to lean on those two guys. And then our center, James Ward, is also returning, along with Leland Germany and Trip Marshall. So just having those returning starters and just the experience that they had playing 11 ball games last year gave us the leadership early in spring. And then with the transition of the coaching change, I've been at Lake Highlands 13 years. And so I do know the kids, I know the community, and I think that was a really big asset for me, for our staff, for our kids, that we just kind of continued things going down the road.
That's actually good to hear. Talking about Trip and Deontay, you guys have probably the most experienced quarterback and running back in the district. Deontay could do so many different things with the power and the speed. A 1,500-yard rush or two last year, I believe, and Tripp was just right around 2,000 yards passing. To have that kind of experience in those key positions, that's got to be helpful as you try to chase down those Scots.
Yeah, it really is. Deontay just brings a different level of athleticism to his position. Obviously, he plays running back for us, but he's one of our top ball catchers. We can spin him out of the backfield. Obviously, his time in the backfield, he's got a lot of experience there. He's got great vision. And then returning our quarterback, anytime you return your quarterback and that experience, this time last year, Tripp was kind of just getting his feet wet, and now he's got those 11 ball games underneath his belt. And what it really allowed us to do is in the spring is just move a little forward with scheme, with preparation, with watching video, all the things that go into that. They'd done it for a year, and we weren't starting with square one. And I think that was probably the biggest asset during the spring, is being able to do new things with those guys, and the background that they had and the knowledge they had really allowed us to move forward.
We talked about where you're experienced at. Maybe tell us a little bit where you're inexperienced at, and where you're looking for people to kind of step up at.
Yeah, I think when you look at our returners, obviously defense, we graduated 8. We only returned 3 starters off of a really good defense last year. And so I think Coach Anthony Pascuzzi, our defensive coordinator, they did a great job in the spring of evaluating kids and kind of, getting that too deep ready. But we both graduated both of our safeties, and one corner, two defensive linemen. One of them was a district MVP, and so just in those areas in general, spring was really good for us to be able to evaluate, and it was good for our kids to be able to see, hey, these positions are open, and now we want to see some competition at these positions, and it really made for a fun spring.
You look at this, you look at 7-6A, and obviously all eyes usually go over there to Highland Park. They're just so difficult to beat on the road. Not that they're easy to beat at home too, but especially with that home field advantage. And the thing with them is they seem to turn over their whole team just about every year. They may keep a couple, 2, 3, but they always have that turnover. So you don't have players that you can kind of think of in the next year. Are they a difficult team to scout by that, or is it because what there are schemes that you can at least scout them out that way, maybe not knowing the personnel.
Yeah, I think it's just Coach Allen and his staff and their team. They just do a great job. There's so much tradition there, and they definitely have set the bar for 7-6A. And I think everyone at this point is chasing Highland Park, and and we sure are. Our goal is to win a district championship, and we know that Highland Park is the favorite, and we're going to go to work and see what we can do, but we have great respect for all the coaches in 7-6A. And Randy Allen at Highland Park, I don't think I need to talk too much about him. So
yeah, no doubt. I guess finally you talk about chasing, and everybody's chasing Highland Park. Well, there's a team that shares a stadium with you that's been chasing y'all for a couple, 2-3 years now, and it looks like they've gotten a little bit of momentum here over at Berkner with a lot of good youthful players. How exciting is that rivalry game? Because you guys share that stadium, and I believe, as I've been told, that whoever wins gets to put their name first, right? The next year. It's been Wildcat Ram for a long time now. Are you guys excited about this rivalry game, and especially with their youth coming up?
Yeah, Coach Bryant's done a great job over there, and they're getting better and better and better. And yeah, 1 week a year, it is a big rival. We do share a stadium. And their program is up and coming, and during that week it'll be the biggest game of our year. As far as rivalries go, for us it's whoever we play the next week. The way realignment happens and the district changes, and every 2 years you got a different non-district opponent and things like that. I don't know that we get too caught up in rivalries too much, but during that week they will be our biggest rival.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate you joining us, man. I can't wait to see how this thing pans out. Hey, maybe you won't play South Grand Prairie in the first round this year like you seem to play every single year, but hey, we'll see how it plays out, and I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.